So how did he get into direct? Because when you're meeting David Ogilvy, you are saying that you were already thinking about direct, right?
See, the thing is that Derek could tell me what was happening to the communication. And I was already reading books. I had read a lot about Claude Hopkins and so on. Claude Hopkins was majorly into results, right? So we were testing. Like, for instance, there was a blood bank in Bangalore. Okay, they were not getting enough right people to go and donate blood. For instance, the guys who came to donate blood or the guys who came for money, they didn't want the money, guys. So we wanted those guys who were genuinely interested in donating blood because they believed in the cause, right? So we created a mailer which said that, look, do you want to save somebody's life, even if you're not a doctor? What a line, right? And they got the right kind of donors. And this campaign we did for the TTK group. Jagu's wife was a major champion for blood donation. So we did a lot of charity work on direct, okay, because nobody was going to, spend money on it. That was one. Then the major turning point was selling Spectrum home computers. Computer World had got Spectrum and they were not selling. Ramraj, if you remember Ramraj, the guys, Ramraj and I met in the flight. Okay, Ramraj said, listen, you say direct this, that, etc. I don't know what it does. We are trying to sell this Spectrum home computers. It's not happening. Do you think you can try? I said, I'm willing to try, but the thing is, I can't do it free, right? You pay for cost. I will show you all my bills, right? You get the benefit, I learn. I get a case study. That's a deal. He said, fine. So, first thing I did was, let's go and find out who is the current buyer for Spectrum home computers. So I told Computer Point to give me the names of all the people who have bought the computer. So they gave us 25 names. So I had two or three people who worked with me. There is a girl called Tina Inos who was there at that time. So Tina was my account executive. So I told Tina, go and visit these homes and find out what they are doing with the computer. Very common sense kind of stuff. She went to 12 households. She went. She came back with a report, and I said it should be a meticulous note of that computer had to be connected to the television set, and all the software was on audio cassettes. The audio cassette player was connected to the home computer. Okay, that's how it works. Everywhere, the home computer was packed nicely and kept inside the garbage cupboard. And then they showed it to her. It was actually brand new. It was open, but it was brand new. It was hardly used. Then she had the intelligence to check the frequency of usage. Occasionally, on a Sunday afternoon after lunch, instead of playing board games, we try this. That's all. So the home computer as a learning instrument, what is not happening, right? So we then did a strategy and said, those homes that are using it frequently, why are they using it frequently? There are a few who use it frequently. So the parents said, education is the only thing we can give this child. Education is what we want to invest in. So they invested in the Spectrum home computer for all the learning lessons. So their cassettes, all the software was on science, on music, on mathematics, and things like that, not the games. So that changed the entire approach to the promise that we made, right? So the learning was understanding the consumer, his motivation, or what makes him tick, was the guts of communication. Then, when David saw all this work, he said, you have to go abroad and learn. And he's go to, then it was decided I'll go to London. And it was good fortune I went to London because Drayton was there. Now, I stayed there for some 7 months or something like that. And then I had my hang-ups that I don't drink, I don't smoke, and all that. But luckily for me, they put me onto a B2B business. Xerox business was there. There was a market research meeting that happened. That was within the first week. They said, "You please attend this meeting as an observer, tell us what happened," kind of. There was major discussion which happened for about 1 hour and nothing came out of the discussion. Then Rod Wright met me in the evening. He said, "How was your day?" And I said, "This was it." He said, "Any meeting you attended?" I said, "Yeah." "What meeting was it?" "Xerox." Xerox is a large business. So he said, "Oh, you attended a Xerox meeting? That's very interesting. What happened?" I said, "There was no outcome of the meeting." He said, "What do you mean? I mean, it was a meeting for a long time, you're saying, and there was no outcome." He said, "There was no outcome." So he asked me a question. "Why do you think there was no outcome?" So I said, "There was no outcome because we didn't know the right questions to ask." So he was shocked. So he turned around and said, uh, if you're the person leading the meeting, what questions would you have asked?" So I said, "These are the questions you'll ask. I will say, as an organization, what is happening to your business today, right? In terms of your reputation, in terms of numbers, and your reach, and all that kind of stuff. All the critical factors you use for measuring your performance. So they say this. Then I'll say, "Okay, are you happy with it?" "No, we are not happy with it." Okay. So what will make you happy? Under each of these, if this number was X, should it have been 2X or 3X or 10X or whatever it is? Tell me that. Yeah. So they tell me all that. Then I'll say, "Do you know why that is not happening?" "We don't know." So I'm saying that is a gap in information, which you need market research to find out. Research must enable you to find out things that you don't know. You don't need research to reconfirm what you know. And I was also sort of burning because these guys treated me like an idiot. And the pride comes out somewhere, right? Sometimes. So Rod Wright was a very nice guy, and he saw the validity of what it said. He said, "Are you willing to lead the Xerox business?" I said, "No, I can't lead the business because leading the business requires relationship building as well. So what I suggest is that allow me to work on the team, gain some credibility before I move on to the leadership position. Let the team in Xerox internally and the client side think that this guy can make a difference by adding value. Then only they'll respect the leader. Nobody respects a leader who has nothing to offer." I said all these things intuitively. Okay, so Rod Wright liked. So I mean, these are the kind of lessons I learned. What the big lesson for me is a leader who is already there, successful, willing to listen to an alternate point of view which is different from his. That's a huge lesson.